half an hour, they realized they were going to have to scrub the mission. They decided to continue with the countdown clock and the finishing all the stages of the fueling, and they considered it a wet dress rehearsal. Hello, everybody. It's Kelly, your solar system ambassador, and I'm back with another Cosmic Monday quick chat so we can discuss the launch attempt today by SpaceX. I hope you're doing well out there. And if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, hi, I'm Kelly, and I'm a solar system ambassador for NASA and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory here in Pasadena, California. It's my joy as a science enthusiast to bring the missions and science of NASA to the public in a fun and understandable way. Now, NASA and SpaceX are partners, so that's why I wanted to do this video and talk about the launch attempt that they tried this morning. And of course, I have my fancy slides for you so we can learn a little bit about the two-stage rocket configuration itself and what happened with the launch that made them scrub it. So let's go to those slides right now. As I said, they tried to launch for the very first time Starship and what they called their Super Heavy booster. And this is footage that I took from their live feed this morning. And you can see because they scrubbed the launch, what they ended up doing was they brought the countdown all the way down to 40 seconds. Once they realized at a shortly under a half an hour, they realized they were going to have to scrub the mission. They decided to continue with the countdown clock and the finishing all the stages of the fueling, and they considered it a wet dress rehearsal. And a wet dress rehearsal is really the entire ground crew and mission control going through all the stages of an actual launch and doing everything but the actual launch itself. That way, the crews can get a good test run of what they're going to do up until zero when they're going to launch it off the ground. So, as I said, they brought it down to about 40 seconds to do a great wet dress rehearsal. Now, the reason why they ended up scrubbing the mission today is there was a pressurization issue for one of the valves on the first stage. One of the valves ended up being frozen, and if they couldn't get it working, they ended up having to scrub it. Now, this is the fully configured two stages. The bottom stage is what's called their super heavy booster. And it is going to be, once it launches and they can have a successful launch with it, launch and landing, then it'll be considered the world's largest and most powerful rocket ever designed. If you've been watching NASA's SLS system, their Space Launch System, which is part of their Artemis program to take us back to the moon, the SLS rocket, the total thrust for that rocket is 8.8 million pounds of thrust. Well, the Super Heavy booster here has a capacity of 16.7 million pounds of thrust, basically double of what the SLS rocket can do. And that is because of the 33 Raptor engines that it has in its design. If you've watched previous SpaceX launches, they usually use their Falcon 9 rocket. And the reason why it's called the Falcon 9 is because it has 9 of these Raptor engines. So the Super Heavy booster has 33 of them. And if you look really closely in the picture, you can see they're each numbered. So just in case one of them fails, then SpaceX will know which one of them actually failed because they're all numbered when they recover it. Now, for the upper stage, that's the actual spacecraft itself. That's the Starship. It will carry cargo and it'll also carry passengers eventually on commercial flights. Itself has 6 Raptor engines. 3 of the Raptor engines are regular Raptor engines, but 3 of them are specifically designed to operate in the vacuum of space. So they're specially designed, specially tuned to be able to create a different type of thrust, more thrust, just in the vacuum of space. It's a difference of efficiency between the regular Raptor and the vacuum specific. As I said, both of these spacecraft are fully reusable, the booster and Starship itself. They'll both be fully reusable, and this will just make commercial space travel more affordable down the road. Now, for this specific test launch, They're both going to be doing hard water landings. They're not going to be landing them back on the ground like they normally do, or in one of their drone ships out in the ocean. Just because, again, these are test flights of both of these engines, spacecraft, and booster. We'll be going to the International Space Station with Starship, to the moon with Starship, and also eventually we're going to be bringing people to Mars. So it's very, very exciting if we can get this off the ground. Now, as I said, since they scrubbed the launch today, the next test flight attempt is going to be this Thursday, April 20th. There is only a 1 hour launch window, which is going to open at 9:28, excuse me, 9:28 a.m. Eastern time. So figure out what that is for you with whatever time zone that you're in. And what I mean by a 1 hour launch window is they have 1 hour to get it off the ground starting at 9:28 in the morning Eastern time. So fingers crossed that we will be able to celebrate with SpaceX that they can get this off the ground. Again, this is a test flight of both the Super Heavy booster and the Starship spacecraft. They've got the Starship dialed in pretty good. They've had several test flights of that in the past, and they're pretty good about that. This one doesn't even have landing legs on it like the other test models did. Like I said, they're both going to be landing in the ocean for recovery to see how they do. Very exciting if they can get us off the ground. SpaceX is optimistic, but with every test, a lot of things happen. So they're not going to be at all disappointed if something goes wrong because that's how we learn. You have to keep failing to find the perfect configuration so we have a successful launch down the road in the future. That's all I have for you right now on this Cosmic Monday quick chat. I hope you're doing well out there. Thanks for watching, and I will be back with we'll be back very soon with another video. So tongue-tied because this is a pretty big deal if SpaceX can get this off the ground. So fingers crossed for Thursday. If you have any questions, leave me a comment down below, and I will be happy to answer anything for you. Otherwise, take care, and I'll see you very soon.